Hi guys, I am Daniel and this is my brother Adam.
Hello.
I'm Daniel and welcome to Daniel's Bozo's Draft Special. Welcome to the 2022 NFL Mock Draft Special.
Woo!
There goes down for you.
Okay. So, Daniel, what's the mock draft special?
The mock draft special as well. We are revealing our mock drafts to each other.
That's right. We haven't seen each other's mock drafts yet. Just the first round NFL draft coming up in a couple weeks.
I do have some. We do. One of us, or some of both of us, might have some trades.
Oh, we might have some trades.
Hold onto your hat.
Oh, right. Those two. Because it's going to be wild and crazy, and I don't know what's going to happen. Daniel, do you know what's going to happen? So, for the mock draft special, we're going to go through pick by pick, and we're going to reveal our mock drafts to each other and to you guys. Say who we think is going to be picked with each pick. Not necessarily who we would choose, but who we think is going to be picked.
Yes. And if there are any NFL scouts watching or NFL teams watching, make sure to say hi.
Yeah, leave a comment if you work for an NFL team. Coming up, pick number 1.
The Jacksonville Jaguars are on the clock.
Dun, 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 dun.
The Jacksonville Jaguars selection is on.
Who are they going to take with the first pick, Daniel?
I have them taking Oregon as rusher Kayvon Thibodeau. I did watch game film of Josh Allen and Kayvon Thibodeau. And I saw, though I actually compare Thibodeau to Josh Allen. To have someone like Thibodeau beside Allen is going to be a great scenario for the Jaguars because you have someone that can get to the quarterback fast and can sometimes hit a spin move. Spin move. It's going to be an electrifying duo between Allen and Thibodeau.
I'll give you that. Kayvon Thibodeau is a really nice athlete. I don't think he's got as big of an arm as Josh Allen has, though.
It's not arms, but
Also, Josh Allen plays for the Bills.
different Josh Allen and Adam.
Oh, man. Yeah, Kayvon Thibodeau is quite an athlete. He was the number 1 overall recruit coming out of high school. He gets to the pass rusher fast. He's a nice player. I think that you're living in like 6 months ago to take him number 1 overall, though. Everywhere I've seen, the conversation has been between Aiden Hutchinson and Trayvon Walker. I'm very much in the camp of Aiden Hutchinson, and I have him going number 1 overall to the Jacksonville Jaguars. As far as like fit, as far as like, the history of what Jacksonville's kind of done with their draft picks, I could totally see someone like Kayvon Thibodeau or Trayvon Walker going number 1 overall. They really like their athletes. But Aiden Hutchinson's an athlete too. He can move. He is powerful, and he was the most dominant defensive player in the country this last year. So I think that Aiden Hutchinson should go number 1. We'll see what happens, but I think that he's the clear number 1 player in the draft, and I've got him going number 1 to Jacksonville.
To clarify Adam's English analysis, Thibodeau, well, not Thibodeau, but Hutchinson was actually a finalist for the Heisman this year.
He was. That's a pretty big deal if you're a defender. And so, Heisman finalist as a defender,
That's rare.
that's pretty rare. Aiden Hutchinson is a rare player. For me, he's the clear number one player in this draft. Got to take him if you're Jacksonville.
For me, Thibodeau is a player you cannot miss on.
You're going to be real sad when he goes number 8 to the Falcons.
I'm going to be happy if he goes somewhere.
Well, I think he'll go somewhere. I think that there's a very high chance he gets drafted.
Yeah.
Good call.
Hey, we are moving on from the number one up to the overall selection. The Detroit Lions are on the clock.
Number 2, the Lions. Well, who do you think they're going to take, Sarah? You're not sure? Number 2, I got Kayvon Thibodeaux to the Lions. As we talked about kind of before, he's an explosive athlete. Maybe the highest ceiling of any edge rusher in this class. And I think that just that alone is enough to push him to the top, to number 2. Trayvon Walker is another player who's kind of been in this conversation. For me, I'm not the biggest fan. I know he's been shooting up the boards, but it's just for me, like, yes, he's an incredible athlete, but the production just hasn't been there. 6.5 sacks in his entire career. I mean, he could definitely turn out to be a much better pro player than a college player. It could definitely happen, and I'll happily eat my words if he does. I just think that it's a bit more of a risk to take someone like Trayvon Walker versus someone like Kayvon Thibodeaux here. I think they're similar players. Thibodeaux just has a greater track record.
And for me, how the Detroit Lions taking Michigan edge rusher Aiden Hutchinson. And here's why. It's because Dan Campbell is looking for someone. Campbell is going to be very happy with Hutchinson there. Bless, here is the bless. He is going to college at Michigan.
Yep.
And that'll be in state for him.
Yeah, Daniel's been talking about this for literally months, incessantly. If Aiden Hutchinson doesn't go number 2 to the Lions, I think Daniel might be sad.
Yeah.
You might have a sad.
Well, a sad lion.
You have the sad Lions because they don't got Aiden Hutchinson because he's going number 1.
Well.
Hey. Number 3, we got the Houston Texans. Who you got, Daniel?
I have them taking Notre Dame safety Kyle Hamilton.
Kyle Hamilton.
They lost Justin Reed in the offseason to the Chiefs.
Yeah, good call.
And they really need a safety, period.
Yep, and Kyle Hamilton's a good player.
And I feel like Hamilton is a player you cannot really pass on if I be the Texans.
That's a solid idea, yeah. So the Texans are at the kind of point where they can basically take whoever they want. There is no position where they really have everybody that they need. So they can take whoever they want, best player available. And, I kind of like that pick. I don't have Kyle Hamilton there, and the reason for that is that he's kind of been falling in recent drafts. He had a lot slower 40 at the combine than people expected him to have with a 4.59. He looks fast on film. I don't have a problem with that pick, but I don't have Kyle Hamilton going that high. I actually moved him down in my most recent edit, just because that's kind of what I've been seeing in the media. Whether that means anything or not, hard to say, but I think that would be a solid pick. Snail.
And moving on to Adam.
Yeah, so I got Evan Neal going number 3, offensive tackle from Alabama. So, as I said, Houston Texans can take whoever they want. This would give them a solid tackle who could play right or left. This year, they've still got, what's his name? Laramie Tunsil. That's the guy. Nice job. They still got him at left tackle, so it's possible that Neal might play right tackle. It's possible then that they hang on to both of them, and they've got 2 huge, really talented bookend tackles to try to build their offense around. It's also possible that they either trade Tunzel or let him walk rather than paying him the money that he's going to deserve. So it gives them options there. I also think that he's probably the best player on the draft at this point. He dominated at left tackle at Alabama in the SEC. You know, there's no real greater preparation for that. I'm a Big Ten guy, but there's no real greater preparation for the NFL than on the lines in the SEC. So I think that he would be a great pick for them. Evan Neal.
Just by the way, guys, I heard this from past drafts.
Okay.
SEC is the greatest conference in history. If you're in the SEC, you have to be tough.
Well, that's what they say on ESPN anyway.
Suit yourselves. Listen to me, ESPN, from a long time ago.
I think that's an extraordinarily bad idea. ESPN should not listen to you.
Well, you listen to ESPN and me because I know what I'm saying.
Number 4, the New York Jets. I just about said the New York Jets.
Speaking of the Jets, it's not Carter Delhart of the Houston Voices, no. But it's the New York Jets.
The New York Jets. Who are they going to take at number 4, Daniel?
I have them taking Alabama offensive tackle Evan Neal.
I feel like I've heard that name before.
Yes, you have. Because I just said his name.
All right, so why you got Evan Neal to the Jets?
Because in some mock drafts I've seen from the Gold House, he has him being up there to the Lions, Texans, well, mainly to the Texans.
Yeah.
And I feel like last year the Jets couldn't really step up for their rookie quarterback, Zach Wilson.
They couldn't really do much of anything, to be fair.
No. And I feel like you do have a great offensive line, but you added more pieces.
I don't think they had a great offensive line.
Well,
yeah, I'm with you, Daniel. I actually had them going with Ikem Ewoku. Is that how you say it?
Ekwonu.
Ikem Ekwonu, offensive tackle from NC State. So we're going in the same kind of thought process here. But in my draft, Evan Neal's already off the board. I really think the two of them, Ekwonu and Evan Neal, are pretty close. I've got Neal a little bit ahead, and so I have him going first, but then Ekwonu following right behind at number 4. Same kind of rationale as Daniel. They need help everywhere. It doesn't hurt to have one less guy running in Zach Wilson's face. Zach Wilson's 8th grade looking face.
Now, moving on to the Giants. So, have them taking Georgia edge rusher Trayvon Walker.
Huh.
So,
Me too.
hey!
Hey!
Yo!
That's a matchup.
And so I have Trayvon Walker to the Giants because they really need an edge rush to pair with Lorenzo Carter and to go after the quarterbacks under new head coach Brian Dable, and they're in a rebuilding process, it sounds like.
Yeah, so I'm with this kid. Just going to throw out a little plug, though. I have Trayvon Walker also. But if I was in the Giants spot here at number 5, and I was trying to take an edge rusher, I would consider Jermaine Johnson from Florida State over Trayvon Walker. I took Trayvon Walker. I think he's the most likely pick, but if I was making that pick, I would consider Jermaine Johnson. Pick number 6, the Carolina Panthers. Daniel likes those guys for some reason.
Yes. I have them taking actually Eke McConnell
Ooh, good pick
from
for
North
them.
Carolina State because who knows if they're good. I personally want them to take Malik Willis.
Okay.
I mocked Equanu there because whoever is their quarterback next season needs someone to be there to protect their blind spot.
I'm with you, and I think that that would be a fine pick for Carolina. In fact, it might be a better pick for Carolina. The problem is that little statement you said, whoever is going to be their quarterback. That's never a good plan going into an NFL season.
No.
Whoever is going to be their quarterback. And so I have them addressing that right here. I have the Panthers taking Kenny Pickett, number 6, quarterback out of Pittsburgh. I think he's the most NFL ready of the quarterbacks in this draft. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of the quarterbacks in this draft. Kenny Pickett's pretty good. Malik Willis has a high ceiling, but I think he also has a high bust potential. Desmond Ridder won a lot of games with Cincinnati, and he won them for a reason. And there's some, somewhat intriguing prospects as you go down the list. But teams get desperate when it comes to quarterback. It's hard to find a good quarterback in the NFL. And pick number 7.
That's the Giants.
We've already been doing this too long. Who do you have the Giants taking? Again, somehow we're on the Giants again. Who are the New York Giants taking, Daniel?
I have them taking Charles Cross from Mississippi State.
Okay.
Because Brian Dable had addressed that Daniel Jones will be their quarterback next year. And to be able to protect him, you should have someone to block out those defensive linemen.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that if going into the draft, you told the Giants they'd be able to get Trayvon Walker and one of the top offensive tackles, I think they'd be happy with that. I think it's a little bit of a reach for Cross at this point. I have him going a little later. Personally, I have the Giants taking Ahmad Sauce Gardner out of Cincinnati. I think he's the top corner in the draft. I've seen him rising on a lot of draft boards. In fact, Mel Kiper has him going number 2 overall. I think that might be a little early. But number 7 here, going to the New York Football Giants. I think that's a great fit, a great spot for him, and he will add a little more sauce to that defense. Number 8, Atlanta Falcons. Who are the Atlanta Falcons taking, Daniel?
I have them taking Ohio State wide receiver Garrett Wilson.
Samesies. Are you doing the Ohio State thing?
And apparently we are.
Okay, Daniel. Garrett Wilson out of Ohio State. I picked him also. Why did you take Garrett Wilson?
I took him because they don't have Calvin Ridley anymore. They need a top-tier wide receiver. He would catch balls from Marcus Mariota. He would help Mariota, to be fair, is a former second overall selection by the Tennessee Titans.
He's a good quarterback. Yeah, or at least has shown some flashes in the past. I don't know. Yeah. I'm with you on this pick. It wouldn't have to necessarily be Garrett Wilson. I think that Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Chris Olave, any of those could really go here. Garrett Wilson's just kind of maybe slightly ahead, but the Falcons don't have any starter caliber wide receivers really on their roster because Calvin Ridley's gone, and I believe Russell Gage signed somewhere else, didn't he?
Yes.
Where did he sign? You remember?
I don't remember now.
That's okay. I don't remember either. But I'm pretty sure that they're kind of...
Buccaneers.
Buccaneers. That's right. I think they're kind of down to the nubbins when it comes to wide receivers. So they got to pick one at some point. And yeah. I think, biggest need, get a good value for it, address it at the top of the draft. I think it's a great fit. So I'm with you.
Nuckies.
Seattle Seahawks, number 9. Who you got, Daniel?
I have Kenyon Green from Texas A&M.
Who?
Kenyon Green from Texas A&M, tackle.
You went all out on the offensive lineman in the beginning of this draft, Daniel.
Yes, I realize that now.
I realize that now. Okay, talk me through it.
So, you have Drew Lock at QB.
Maybe.
Who you traded for.
Kinda.
From the Russell Wilson trade. Whoever the quarterback is going to be, protection for whoever the quarterback is. And protection is the key word for new quarterbacks to new places.
Okay, so Drew Lock needs protection. Like a lock. I don't know, it's a bad joke. You need someone to lock the defenders out of the backfield?
Yes.
Mm.
That's why I took Kenyon Green.
Okay, so for me, Kenyon Green is more of a later first round pick. I have him going like in the 20s. So I think it's a bit of a reach. I don't hate the thought. Personally, number 9 with the Seahawks, you're talking about Drew Lock being their quarterback potentially. Drew Lock had a good chance to start with Denver several times, and he had trouble beating out several different kind of little more like journeyman kind of quarterbacks. Most recently, Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah.
And he's got lots of opportunities and hasn't really taken much from it. So I would, as much as I want him to succeed, I have trouble imagining the Seahawks throwing all of their eggs into the Drew Lock basket. So I actually have them going Malik Willis, number 9. Malik Willis, the quarterback out of Liberty University. As I said earlier, I think he's the highest ceiling quarterback in the draft. He's a really good athlete. He can throw the ball a long ways. Big arm. He's a good player. I think he's got a little bit of development yet. And personally, I wouldn't take him this high. I probably wouldn't take him until the 20s. But, you know, as I said earlier, teams get desperate when it comes to quarterbacks. And that they're so good quarterbacks are so rare. And so it's so hard to find a good quarterback and a franchise quarterback that teams will jump a little bit on those guys. And so I got the Seahawks jumping on him all the way up at number 9. Number 10, the New York Jets are back on the clock.
Yes, I have them taking USC wide receiver Drake London.
Okay.
Because last time I had the Jets protecting Dak Wilson. And last year, you drafted wide receiver from, wide receiver Elijah Moore from Ole Miss. And to have someone beside him, but a big body receiver that can fight 4 yards.
Really
like DK Metcalf.
Really good thought. Like the pick. I thought about Drake London here. And I think I wouldn't be at all surprised if he's the pick here. I went with Kyle Hamilton, the safety out of Notre Dame. In my draft, he's still on the board. I don't think that he should fall any lower than that. And I think the Jets would be running up to the Roger Goodell with the card saying, here, please give us Kyle Hamilton if he happens to fall this far. And so I think that the value of Kyle Hamilton is enough to outweigh the positional match that is Drake London. But that's a good pick. I like it. I got Kyle Hamilton.
11th overall selection, which is the Washington Commanders. Commanders have taken Michigan safety Daxton Hill.
Already?
Yes.
Okay.
Because you have Cameron Curl you drafted last year. And pair someone like Hill with him. Like draft they want to get younger, I feel like, in the secondary. And
that's fine and that's fair. I just have on my board, Daniel, I have him as a second round pick. Maybe a late first rounder. So I think it's a little too early for him. But I also have them going defense. I have Jermaine Johnson, edge rusher out of Florida State, going number 11 to the Washington football team. I mean, Washington Commanders.
Vikings.
Ah!
Don't be scared. They're from Minnesota.
Good point. Okay.
So, I have them taking Utah linebacker Devin Lloyd.
Okay. Okay.
They need a big body linebacker to pair with whoever their linebacker is.
Yeah.
Like
That's the problem. That's the problem. We don't even know who their other linebacker is. I'm sure that he's great.
Michael Kendrick.
I have the Vikings going corner at number 12 with Derek Stingley out of LSU. Stingley's an interesting one because after his freshman year, he looked like he might be the number 1 overall pick in the whole draft. He had an incredible freshman year when LSU went on to win the national title. But the last couple years, he's kind of dealt with injuries and hasn't quite been the same player when he's been on the field. So it's a little bit of a risk-reward kind of pick. I think the Vikings are willing to take that risk at number 12.
Okay. Again, it's the Texans.
At number 13, who you got, Daniel?
I have Louisiana State cornerback Derek Stingley Jr. to the Texans.
Okay. So we got him kind of in the same area of the draft.
Yeah,
I
and
like that.
for me, they need a cornerback that can live up to the hype of the state of Texas. You can be Texas proud.
There you go. I don't know. I kind of like that idea because the Texans already have another high first-round pick. They already took, in my draft, Evan Neal, and yours, who was it? It was Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah.
And so they've got a little bit of wiggle room there. You know, if we're talking about the risk-reward with someone like Derek Stingley, since they already have another high first-round draft pick, that takes away a little bit of that risk. So, yeah, I like that a lot. Nice move. In my board, Derek Stingley's already off. I have them going with Jordan Davis, defensive tackle out of Georgia. He was one of my favorite players in the entire draft. I loved watching him play for Georgia this year, and then he went and, I've never seen that big of a human move that fast as he did during that 40-yard dash at the Combine. Oh, my word, that man can move. He is a big guy, and he is real athletic, and he's got the production. He's got the production to back it up. I think that Jordan Davis is being slept on a little in this draft, and I think 13 is almost too low, even though I think he will go maybe even a little lower than that.
And to fill what I was saying about Jordan Davis, he is the first player in NFL draft history since the 2000s to be over 300 pounds. And that's historically.
Over 300 pounds and run a 4.8.
How? We don't know.
The Ravens at number 14. Who you got, Daniel?
I have them taking Georgia linebacker Nakobe Dean.
Yep.
Nakobe Dean to the Ravens. I feel like that's a great move. They don't have Don Wink Martindale anymore. I feel like they need to start using their power defense. Nakobe Dean is a power linebacker. I'm going to say this about Jimmy Richard Carmara. He was a sideline linebacker. And I feel like Nakobe Dean is that Jimmy Richard Carmara coming out of Georgia.
Do you think kind of similar?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. I have the Ravens going with Charles Cross, offensive tackle out of Mississippi State. They had a little bit of trouble on the offensive line this last year. Looking at the division that they're in with the reigning AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns, who just added Deshaun Watson. It's a tough division. The more that they can boost that offense, the better. And I think that Charles Cross is a good value here to boost their offensive line. Philadelphia Eagles, number 15. Who you got, Daniel? Who are the Eagles taking?
Ohio State's wide receiver Chris Olave.
Ah.
So here's the reasoning why.
Okay.
So you drafted wide receiver Devontae Smith.
Yep.
And to give Jalen Hurts another person to throw the ball to.
That's fair. The Eagles have spent several first-round picks on wide receivers recently. Devontae Smith is a really nice player. Also, Jalen Reagor. But their wide receiver room is still not like perky. Devontae Smith is a really nice player, but they could definitely use some more juice, some more sauce. So I have them taking Drake London, wide receiver out of USC. Kind of like Daniel was saying earlier, he's a bigger body wide receiver. He's going to help him out in the red zone. He can run all the routes. I think that you pair him with Devontae Smith, who's a little bit smaller of a receiver, and they're going to complement each other really well. I think it'd be a great move for the Eagles. Number 16, the New Orleans Saints. Who you got, Daniel?
Well, first of all, who dat?
Who?
Who dat? I have them taking Cincinnati cornerback Ahmad Sauce Gardner.
Okay, you having him fall that far.
Yes.
Okay, why?
Because you have Paulson Adebo, you have Marshall Lattimore as cornerback, and pair someone with Lattimore and Adebo to fill in a cornerback room that needs help.
Yep. Okay. I think that they would be very happy with that pick if they were able to get Sauce Gardner that late. That's fair. I have the Saints taking Chris Olave. Looking at their wide receivers last year with Michael Thomas out for the whole season, it was a little bit tough at times. And so I think that adding another weapon to that room will help everyone out, including Jameis Winston. So, Chris Olave. Number 17, the Chargers. Who is Los Angeles taking?
I have them charging their batteries. So
they're not taking a pick?
They are taking a pick. I have them taking Northern Iowa offensive tackle Trevor Penning.
Hey, me too. So, number 18.
We have the Philadelphia Eagles. So, the Eagles are back up, which means I have them taking Georgia nose tackle Jordan Davis.
Okay.
They did lose Ryan Kerrigan, and they have Fletcher Cox, and pair Davis with Cox. While Cox is at the end of his career, basically.
Okay. Fair enough. I have the Eagles taking Devin Lloyd, linebacker out of Utah, that Daniel just had a few picks back. He's a really nice linebacker, and I think that he would add an element to the Eagles' defense. 19, New Orleans Saints, yet again. Who are the Saints taking?
Alright, the Saints. I have them taking Minnesota linebacker Boye Mafe.
Okay. Wow, you're having him jump up a long ways.
Yes.
This guy was a second round or third round pick a couple months ago, according to most people, and now all of a sudden he's a first rounder. What do you like about him?
I like he's been proving himself in the off season.
Yeah, he has.
And I just like people that just comes out of the shadows and filling out their names into the national television.
So you like the underdog story, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, he has kind of come out of nowhere a little bit. Not that he should have, because he was a really nice player from Minnesota, but kind of how those stories work sometimes. I don't think that I'd take him quite this early. I have the Saints taking Nakobe Dean, the linebacker out of Georgia. Really nice, one of the top linebackers in the draft. Add an extra layer to the New Orleans defense, and wouldn't hurt. Kind of a luxury pick.
It is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Number 20, who's coming?
Big Ben is retiring.
Big Ben is retiring, and he's staying retired.
Yeah, so I have them taking the first quarterback. And why not? From the University of Pittsburgh, Kenny Pickett.
I guess he'd know his way around, probably.
Yes, and he cannot throw any picks. Because that's what Mike Tomlin does not look for. A man named Pickett. So
that's a solid pun. I'm with you. I also agree that Kenny Pickett is the top quarterback in the draft, and I actually agree that this, I think, is about the time that he should be going. I have him going a lot higher just because of the demand for quarterbacks. But I have the Pittsburgh Steelers taking a quarterback as well. I have them taking Desmond Ridder out of Cincinnati. Desmond Ridder won a lot of games with Cincinnati. He took them to the playoff, and they were the first Group of 5 team to ever make the playoff. That's a huge deal, and that doesn't happen without a special team full of special players, and the quarterback is at the top of that list. He is a dynamic athlete, and that's one of the things that Mike Tomlin has said he's kind of looking for in his next quarterback. He's kind of hinted that next quarterback's going to be a little bit more mobile than Big Ben was at the end of his career. And I think that Desmond Ridder fits that bill. I think he's the best quarterback still on the board. I think they're going to pull the trigger on that. Number 21, who are the Patriots taking?
I have them taking from Boston College interior offensive lineman Diane Johnson.
Okay.
So Bill Belichick looks for great offensive linemen. He would help protect the running backs. And
Mac Jones?
yeah.
That's the guy. That's okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's a solid pick. I have him going in the late first round too. That works. I've got them taking Jameson Williams, a receiver out of Alabama. Bill Belichick has a long track record of drafting Alabama players. Jameson Williams is one of those that would have probably been the first receiver off the board had he not torn his ACL. And so he may not be available at the start of the season depending on how his rehab goes. But he's one of those players that I think we're going to be looking back on this and say, man, how did Bill Belichick get away with that one like we always do? I think it'd be a really good pick for them. So Jameson Williams, wide receiver out of Alabama. Green Bay Packers, 22.
Yes, 22nd overall selection in the 22nd NFL draft.
Are they finally going to take a wide receiver for Aaron Rodgers now that they traded away Devontae Adams?
Say, Adam, this is for not just you, this is for Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Alabama wide receiver Jameson Williams.
There you go. All right. I see it.
So, they lost Devontae Adams, well, like Adam and I said, and what you saw from the NFL, that they traded Devontae Adams. They lost multiple receivers.
Amari Rodgers, Alan Lazard, and Randall Cobb. I don't know if they have anybody else in the wide receiver room.
Yeah, and draft Jameson Williams, whenever he's back from the ACL,
yeah,
he's gonna probably electrify Green Bay.
Good pick. I got the Packers taking Treylon Burks, wide receiver out of Arkansas. So same kind of thought process. Treylon Burks is a big receiver. He's fast. He's a big athlete. I think that he would be a nice addition to the Packers wide receiver room. One that they sorely need.
Yeah.
Number 23, Arizona Cardinals. Who do they take, Daniel?
Washington cornerback Kyler Gordon.
Okay.
So you have Byron Murphy, also from Washington at cornerback.
Oh, there you go.
To,
Washington connection.
Yes, and that's part of the reason why I did it.
There you go.
And one of the biggest reasons is to get Arizona another defensive weapon.
I chose Tyler Linderbaum, center out of Iowa, to boost their offensive line.
Next, Jerry World in Dallas or Arlington, Texas. So, the Dallas Cowboys.
Who's Jerry Jones taking at 24, Daniel?
I have him taking Clemson cornerback Andrew Booth Jr.
Okay.
they have Trayvon Diggs at cornerback. And pair Trayvon and Boo together.
I have the Cowboys taking Kenyon Green, offensive lineman out of Texas A&M. Buffalo Bills, number 25. Who are they taking?
I have them taking Michigan outside linebacker David Ojabo.
Interesting. I like it. I like it.
They got Von Miller,
Yeah,
who is a defending Super Bowl champion.
that's right. He's quite a player.
And adding Ojabo to that freak Buffalo defensive line can really pump them up.
Yeah, that's the kind of pick that you can afford to take when you've got a roster that's as talented and complete as Buffalo's. So David Ojabo tore his Achilles in one of his workouts this offseason, and so he'll probably be out for this entire next season. But he is a really talented player, really talented edge rusher, and I think that the Bills will be happy to have him once he makes his recovery. So I got the Bills taking Trent McDuffie, cornerback out of Washington, the other Washington cornerback. They have two that are kind of towards the back of the first round, second round, somewhere in there. I went with McDuffie ahead of Gordon, but take your pick. And in this case, the Bills took their pick, and they took McDuffie.
Yeah. It is the Tennessee Titans.
26. Who are they taking, Daniel?
You said you heard what I said last pick.
Trent McDuffie.
Yes, I'm Trent McDuffie to Tennessee.
We're real close. Good stuff. All right.
So they need more ammunition in that secondary
Wouldn't hurt.
to compete in the AFC.
The AFC is wild. There are 12 teams in the AFC that could make the playoffs this year. That is bonkers. So I have the Titans taking Zion Johnson, offensive lineman out of Boston College. Because when you have Derrick Henry, give him the ball.
If you do have that kind of power.
And that's what they're going to be able to do. They add another offensive lineman to the interior of that line, open up those holes, and tell you what, it's hard to stop a moving truck. And that's probably what it feels like when you try to tackle Derrick Henry. That man is big and fast. He's a great running back.
He is a king. A king of the powerbacks.
There you go.
Moving on.
Buccaneers, who are they taking at 27?
Georgia defensive tackle Devontae Wyatt.
Hey, me too! Brothers!
Yeah!
Green Bay Packers again. Who are they going with this time, Daniel?
So last time I had them taking receiver.
Yep.
So I've watched the Gold House on YouTube a lot, and I've seen he's a really good mock drafter. So I say pair Lazard Olave with Twin Burks from Arkansas.
Oh, you're going 2 consecutive wide receivers.
Yes.
Wow. I think that wouldn't be a bad idea, though I really don't see it happening. I've got the Packers taking George Karlaftis, edge rusher out of Purdue. Honestly, I think he should go a lot higher than this, but this is kind of where he fell, and this is kind of where he's been falling towards the end of the first round. I think that the Packers will be very happy with that, though. He's a really solid edge rusher and has proved it over his time at Purdue. How about those Chiefs?
Eight hamburgers.
Chiefs on the board at 29. Where are the
Ain't
Chiefs going?
dirty.
That's right, 29 and 30.
Based off the Tyreek Hill trade.
Yeah, so where are the Chiefs going, Daniel? What are they doing?
I actually have them taking from Georgia receiver George Pickens
Okay.
to fill in the Tyreek Hill spot.
I wouldn't be too mad about that. That's kind of about the earliest I think Pickens will go, but I wouldn't be mad about it. I have the Chiefs also taking a wide receiver, Jahan Dotson out of Penn State. He can catch the ball. You seen that catch on the sideline? Oh my word! Which game was that?
That was last year against Ohio State, actually.
Oh my word! What a catch! That man can play football, and he can catch the football. And you know what the Chiefs need right now? People who can catch the football.
Yes. With one hand, though.
Hey, one hand, two hand, three hands, I don't care as long as he brings it in.
Yes.
And 30, who are the Chiefs picking back to back?
I have them taking Purdue as well, so George called off this.
I'd be very happy with that.
Because we need edge rush.
Yes, we do, which is why I'm also taking an edge rusher at 30. In my draft, Karlaftis has just come off the board, so instead we go with Boye Mafe out of Minnesota.
And who are taking... Oh, yeah, you had Dotson and Mafe.
Dotson and Mafe. And you got
Pickens and Karlaftis.
Pickens and Karlaftis. Kind of thinking the same things. Good stuff.
Get at them.
The reigning AFC champions, Cincinnati Bengals. Who are they going to take, Daniel?
First of all, congratulations to the Cincinnati Bengals.
And Coach Zach Taylor. He's a Nebraska boy.
If you don't know Nebraska, it's right behind us. So, yeah.
We're Nebraska fans, if you can't tell.
We're not from Nebraska, though. We're from the Chiefs state. So, I have them taking interior offensive lineman from Iowa, Tyler Linderbaum.
Okay. I think that they'd be happy with that. They did just sign a center, and Linderbaum is primarily a center. So it still would work. I think that would be totally fine to add to their interior offensive lineman depth.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow was sacked 9 times and still somehow won in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Imagine what he could do if he's not running for his life on every play. They've made big moves on that offensive line to try to improve it. I totally could see them continuing that during the draft here. In my board, he's already off, though. And so I have them going with Kaiir Elam, a cornerback out of Florida. We kind of saw in the Super Bowl how all those high-powered Rams receivers kind of were able to move the ball on Cincinnati.
And Eli Apple.
Eli Apple's back, but he could use some extra help. So I have them going with Kaiir Elam, cornerback out of Florida.
Yeah.
Lions.
Wow!
Oh my word, that was loud. Okay.
Wow!
So edit that first one out and put in like a lion sound. That'll work. Okay, definitely edit that one out. Please do not put that in. That was bad. So the Lions, who are they taking? Football. Draft people? I don't know. What football? Go.
Mississippi quarterback Matt Corral.
That's who I got too.
Woo! Buddy! Oh!
So Matt Corral is a quarterback. Guess what the Lions don't have?
A quarterback.
Or anything else. But quarterback is one step. I think that into the first round is a good spot for them to be taking a quarterback here. The advantage of being in the first round to do it is you get that 5th-year option, whereas you don't if you were to take them in the second round. I think that would set them up well to take a player like Matt Corral. He wouldn't have to start this year. It's because of Jared Goff there. He could if he beats him out. He could not if he doesn't.
Just, yeah.
It would work out.
Like, middle from Jared Goff, actually.
There you go. I don't know if he wants to learn anything from Jared Goff.
Well, then how play quarterback?
Yeah, I think it'd be a good fit.
Thanks for joining me for another episode of Daniel's Bar Shorts. If you like this video, don't be afraid to give me a like. And be sure to subscribe for more Bar Shorts content.